This is Hayes Q Jones, your DVD and Blu-ray baller on a budget, and this is HQ Videos for you. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're a current subscriber, what's up? You are greatly appreciated. Come on in, make yourself at home. This week for my collection video, I wanted to focus on spy films, my top 10 best spy films of all time from my collection. And I was actually inspired by going to the movies last weekend. We saw Sinners, and one of the preview trailers, was a blockbuster spy movie that's coming out this summer, which also indirectly plays a part in my top 10 spy films. And the thing that I love about spy films, it doesn't have to be one specific type. It can be an action spy film, it could be suspense, high tension, or it can actually be comedy, a little tongue-in-cheek, or rather cheeky, they say, I guess over in the UK. So if it has a good script, good actors, well-directed, good cinematography, and engages me, that are the elements of a fantastic spy film. So without further ado, sit back, relax, have a drink of a smoke, and I'll catch you on the other end of this video. Back at the Black Cave, we are back at the motherfucking Black Cave. I'm going to jump into it with my number 10 spot for favorite or best spy films. This is the 1966 action-adventure comedy, originally distributed through 20th Century Fox, Our Man Flint. This was directed by Daniel Mann, produced by Saul David, written by Hal Thimberg. This stars James Coburn, Lee J. Cobb, Gila Golan, Edward Mulhare, Vincent Vaughn. The plot behind this: when scientists use eco-terrorism to impose their will on the world by affecting extremes in the weather, Intelligence Chief Cramden calls in top agent Derek Flint. And James Coburn, if you're not familiar with him, the best I can equate him to, he's kind of like a Jason Statham type of character. A little bit more, maybe on the sophisticated New York Playboy style, and it's kind of like a spoof on 007. It's very tongue-in-cheek, and he's just like this perfect agent surrounded by all these beautiful women. And James Coburn, it was so good they did another one in like Flint, the sequel to this. Just a very fun 60s, little sex exploitation period though, but all done very tastefully spy film. So if you're not familiar with James Coburn, do some research on him. Definitely check this out. This was the Twilight Time distribution, Our Man Flint. Almost forgot to show the little Twilight Time booklet here. A little extra card here. Our Man Flint. My number 9 pick is the 2015 action-adventure comedy, Man from U.N.C.L.E. This was directed by Guy Ritchie, written by Guy Ritchie, produced by Steve Clark Hall. This stars Henry Cavill, you might know him as Superman, the former Superman, Armie Hammer, Alicia Vikander, Elizabeth Debicki, Luca Calvani. The plot behind this: at the height of the Cold War, a mysterious criminal organization plans to use nuclear weapons and technology to upset the fragile balance of powers between the United States and the Soviet Union. CIA agent Napoleon Solo and KGB agent Leah Kuryakin are forced to put aside their hostilities and work together to stop the evildoers in their tracks. And this is actually based on a very cool television show. I think that was in the 60s. I think it was a UK show. I'll only catch episodes like here and there, like on Saturdays on TV though, but very cool show. It kind of equated to a British version of Mission Impossible. Plus, it's directed by Guy Ritchie. And if you're not familiar with Guy Ritchie, he's done things such as the Sherlock Holmes movies with Robert Downey Jr., Rock and Rolla, Snatch, his first movie Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels with Jason Statham. So he does some really cool action, sometimes intricate plot types of movies, but a lot of action, a lot of suspense, little tongue-in-cheek humor there. It's a Warner Brothers release, but very fun movie. The number 9 for spy movies, The Man from U.N.C.L.E. My number 8 pick is the 2014 action-adventure comedy thriller, Kingsman, The Secret Service. This is 20th Century Fox release initially. It's directed by Matthew Vaughn, produced by Adam Bowling, written by Jane Goldman. This stars Adrian Quinton, Colin Firth, Mark Strong, Jono Davies, Jack Davenport, Mark Hamill, and say with me now, Samuel motherfucking Jackson. The plot behind this is a story of a super secret spy organization that recruits an unrefined but promising street kid into the agency's ultra-competitive training program just as the global threat emerges from a twisted tech genius. And this is almost in the same vein as The Man from U.N.C.L.E., action adventure with a twist of comedy. They have my man Samuel Jackson in there, who plays this really eccentric villain. They have the lady with the blade feet that are really cool. I think that's Colin Firth right here. And of course, Michael Caine. I love Michael Caine. Just a great cast, great action, a lot of fun, and just a really decent spy movie, so much that they created a sequel and a prequel. And I'm wondering if they're gonna actually try to build upon the franchise. But very fun franchise, very great movie. My number 10, 9, 8 pick, Kingsman, The Secret Service. My number 7 pick is the 2012 Warner Brothers picture biography drama history thriller Argo. This is directed and produced by Ben Affleck, written by Chris Terrio. This stars Ben Affleck, Bryan Cranston, who I love from Malcolm in the Middle and, of course, Breaking Bad, Alan Arkin, John Goodman, Victor Garber. The plot behind this: as the Iranian Revolution reaches a boiling point, a CIA's exfiltration specialist concocts a risky plan to free 6 Americans who have found shelter at the home of a Canadian ambassador. And to my knowledge, this is based on a declassified true story. So it doesn't have the type of action that Man from U.N.C.L.E. or Kingsman: The Secret Service, but it's based on real life story, and they do a great job of building suspense, building tension. Again, you have these Americans stuck in Iran during this big uprising, and they just trying to get back home, and you don't know who's going to make it, who's not going to make it. So great movie, great cast. I'm not the biggest Ben Affleck fan though, but I'll give props to do. Great direction, great movie. Number 7 pick for great spy films, Argo. My number 6 pick is the MGM United Artists 1998 action-adventure crime thriller, Ronin. This was directed by John Frankenheimer, produced by Paul Kelmanson, written by J.D. Zelk. This stars Robert De Niro, Jean Reno, Natasha McElhone, Stellan Skarsgård, Sean Bean, Ron Perkins. Those are the biggest names. The plot behind this: a briefcase with undisclosed contents sought by Irish terrorists and the Russian mob makes its way into criminals' hands. An Irish liaison assembles a squad of mercenaries, or Ronin, and gives them the thorny task of recovering the case. And this has arguably one of the best car scenes in the movie business. Love Jean Reno. Became a big fan of him with The Professional. Just his voice, just his swag. Just love Jean Reno, as well as Robert De Niro. Again, great plot. Not as much action, more suspense, more tension. But when the action hits, it's great action. Specifically when they're talking about the car chase. And this is, again, an MGM United Artists released. So my 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 pick, Robert De Niro, Jean Reno, Ronin. My number 5 pick is the 1994 20th Century Fox action comedy thriller, True Lies. This was directed and written by James Cameron, produced by Stephanie Austin. This stars Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jamie Lee Curtis, Tom Arnold, Bill Paxton, Tia Carrere. The plot behind this: a fearless Bill Paxton, a fearless globe-trotting terrorist battling secret agent has his life turned upside down when he discovers his wife might be having an affair with a used car salesman, while terrorists smuggle nuclear warheads into the United States. And great combination of suspense, action, and humor. Arnold does his thing. Jamie Lee Curtis is probably the sexiest I've ever seen her. Arnold plays the funny man next to Tom Arnold plays the funny man or the comic relief to Arnold Schwarzenegger. But the person who really made it for me is Bill Paxton. Bill Paxton's role in this is hilarious. He really makes the first part of the movie for me. Tia Carrere, also very sexy in this movie. Just, again, a very fun, action-filled spy movie. So my number 5 pick, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Number 5 pick, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jamie Lee Curtis, James Cameron's True Lies. My number 4 pick is the 1973 Eon Productions action-adventure thriller, Live and Let Die. This is directed by Guy Hamilton, produced by Albert R. Bercoli, written by Tom Mankiewicz. This stars Roger Moore, Yaphet Kotto, Jane Seymour, Clifton James, Julius Harris, Jeffrey Holder, David Hudson, Bernard Lee. The plot behind this: James Bond must investigate a mysterious murder case of a British agent in New Orleans. Soon, he finds himself up against a gangster boss named Mr. Big. And in 73, you had a lot of black exploitation movies out, and it gives us a little sprinkle in there with a New Orleans feel, the whole voodoo feel about it though. Fun movie. At this time, Roger Moore was my favorite Bond at this time. No disrespect to Sean Connery, but probably because I used to watch a television show called The Saint, and basically The Saint was just kind of like James Bond, except he was a thief. So I love Roger Moore, love the cast of characters, great action, just like all Bond movies though, but for this one, just this kind of sticks out, the whole New Orleans voodoo vibe, and again, just a really fun spy action movie. So my number 4 pick, Roger Moore, Jane Seymour, Live and Let Die. And this is a MGM release. My number 3 pick, Columbia Pictures 2006 action-adventure thriller, Casino Royale. This was directed by Martin Campbell, produced by Barbara Bercoli, written by Neil Purvis. This starred Daniel Craig, Eva Green, Mads Mikkelsen, who I love as a villain, did a great Hannibal on the television show, Judi Dench, Jeffrey Wright, Giancarlo Gianni, Katerina Marino, Simon Abkarian. The plot behind this: La Chiffre, a banker to the world's terrorist, is scheduled to participate in a high-stakes poker game in Montenegro, where he intends to use his winnings to establish his financial grip on the terrorist market. M sends Bond on his maiden mission as a 007 agent. And after Roger Moore retired from being Bond, and I think they put Bronson, Can't think of his name right now. Decent actor. I just hated him as Bond. I can't even think of the guy's name. But I hated him as Bond. Didn't know if I'll ever like another Bond film again. Then Daniel Craig comes along. They said initially he was too short. Just by the way this guy walks, he has this air about him. He has a swag. And unlike Roger Moore and Sean Connery, to me, Bond was more than just kind of a caricature of a spy. He was like a real person with feelings and emotions. And he was still, again, 007, but he just seemed a little bit more realistic. And Daniel Craig just really made it for me as Bond. He will probably go down, again, no disrespect to Sean Connery, who was the first Bond, and to Roger Moore, who I loved as Bond, though. But for me, he, to year to date, is the best Bond. And this is just a fantastic movie, full of action, full of suspense, twisted ending. And you really see Daniel Craig or James Bond 007 express real human emotions, not just swag and kind of tongue-in-cheek humor. So my number 3 pick, Casino Royale. I didn't realize that until I started putting this away. This is the Blu-ray version of Casino Royale. These are the DVDs, which actually have much better artwork. Casino Royale. My number 2 pick is Universal Pictures 2002 action mystery thriller Bourne Identity. It's directed by Doug Liman, produced by Patrick Crowley, written by Tony Gilroy. This stars Matt Damon, Franca Potente, Chris Cooper, Clive Owen, Brian Cox, Adewale Ekunoe Agabe, I know I just killed that person's name, Gabriel Mann, Walton Goggins. The plot behind this: wounded to the brink of death and suffering from amnesia, Jason Bourne is rescued at sea by a fisherman without nothing to go on but a Swiss bank account number. He starts to deconstruct his life, but finds that many people he encounters want him dead. And love the whole concept of the spy with no memory, and basically his reactions are just muscle memory because he doesn't know who he is or how he can do the things that he does, but he just does them. And Matt Damon, never thought of Matt Damon as an action hero, but I think that's what kind of makes it that more significant. Normal guy, normal looking guy. He's not steroided out, not super tall, but he pulls off the action flawlessly. Great fight scenes, and it's an interesting story because you're trying to figure out, who is this guy, how come he doesn't have a memory, and it goes through it throughout all the movies. Didn't care for Bourne Legacy as much because they try to twist it up again without Matt Damon. Not a bad movie on its own, but just don't like it in the context of the franchise. And just curious if there will be, I know they're so big into reboots and franchises, if they're going to try to bring this back or bring Matt Damon back or bring someone else back under the kind of that Bourne Supremacy program that they have. Not to give you any spoilers away though, but I actually picked this up, I believe, at Big Lots back in the day. Had a couple of dents in it. I don't know if this is supposed to represent bullet shots or just dented though, but my number 2 pick for best spy films of all time, Bourne Identity franchise. And this is, who's this? Universal. And my number 1 pick for best spy films of all time is the Paramount Pictures 1996 action-adventure thriller Mission Impossible. This was directed by Brian De Palma, produced by J.C. Cassiano, written by Bruce Geller. This stars Tom Cruise, John Voight, Emmanuel Barrett, Henry Czerny, Jean Reno, Ving Rhames, Kristen Scott Thomas, Vanessa Redgrave. Those are most of the big names. The plot behind this: when Ethan Hunt, the leader of a crack espionage team whose perilous operation has gone awry with no explanation, discovers that a mole has penetrated the CIA. He's surprised to learn that he's the #1 suspect. To clear his name, Hunt must now hunt down out the real double agent, and in the process, even the score. And this movie, this franchise has done so well. There's another one coming out this summer. Just saw the preview when I saw Sinners this past Sunday. It looks lit. It looks like it's on fire. And somehow they have managed to keep the franchise fresh, somewhat continuing the story, keeping the story linear as far as from the first Mission Impossible to the last. There's some kind of connection to all the movies together. So they've done a great job. Tom Cruise still is great for a man I think is approaching 60, if he's not 60 already. Great action, great storyline. Love Ving Rhames. Love the fact that he keeps most of the same characters throughout the whole franchise. So looking forward to watching. Matter of fact, I just bought Fallout in 3D. Looking forward to rewatching that in 3D. And looking forward to seeing the new movie coming out this summer. So my #1 pick, not just Mission Impossible, but the whole Mission Impossible franchise. And again, this is a Paramount release. And these are my top 10 best spy movies in my collection. Made this far in the video, smash the like, give me the big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. If you have a favorite spy movie or a movie you think is one of the best spy movies, please add in the comments. Other than that, may the best of your past be the worst of your future. Everyone, please be safe. Deuces.